Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to CIGRE Chat. We are here with Les Brand from Amplitude. How are you this afternoon, sir?
I'm doing very well, thanks, Gary.
Excellent to see, excellent to see. How are you finding the symposium so far?
So far, this has been a fantastic event. Groundbreaking, so many people. Getting a lot of chatter in our booth number 36.
There you go, booth number 36, people. Visit.
Yeah, fantastic.
Excellent.
What a great
excellent,
turnout.
excellent to see. What's your favourite part so far?
I think it's all the networking and, being able to, catch up with people. I think we have something like 800-900 people from around Australia and about 400 odd people from overseas. And just catching up with people that many I haven't seen for a while.
Oh, fantastic.
All in the one location. And Cairns is a beautiful spot too.
It is a lovely spot up here, lovely spot. Les, let's get stuck into it. I'm gonna open with a really tough question for you here. What do you think the challenges are we're facing in the industry today, and how could this impact the transition to renewables?
Look, in my view, I think one of our biggest challenges is the people, the limited number of people that we have in the industry today. Engineers, construction, people who can do construction in the electricity industry. We really need to start doing something about that. And here in Australia, we need to encourage more people to come into the power industry. We have to start at the ground level, we have to start at schools, we have to bring people in the universities, and really try and tell people what a fantastic industry we work in. So that'd be one of them. The other one is, of course, something we talk about a lot, which is supply chain. So supply chain is a big challenge for us, and it's people, yes, but it's also manufacturing capacity. It's the physical limitation of how much actual resource we can pull out of the ground at any one time. So very finite resources that we need to make sure that we share amongst all the different projects that are happening. And with projects every project wants to happen at the same time, I think the industry really needs to start looking at sort of prioritising those projects.
And how would we do that as an industry as a whole? How would we look at prioritising all these different projects and all the different levers? How would we get that all harmonised into one machine, you could put it?
I think more cooperation at the state level, at the federal level, more sharing of collaboration between the developers of all the different projects, the TNSPs, the market operators. And I also think there should be more collaboration at the international level as well. Because whilst we can solve these problems by taking those resources and bringing them into Australia, then we're really just diluting the pool for someone else. So it's a state by state, a federal issue, and it's a international issue. And I think CIGRE could really play a role in helping encourage that kind of collaboration.
I see them as a facilitator to bring it all together.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah, spot on. And events like this where we get so many people coming in, everyone's talking to each other about the projects that they've got planned. This is the perfect opportunity to start thinking about, well, who's going to build this? Who's going to engineer it? And are all these projects really going to happen at the same time, or should we somehow plan better? Yeah,
I think opening up the communications amongst the companies as well as the technical talks that are going on, I think is advantageous to the industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
Next question for you, sir. What's the importance of high voltage DC power transmission in the energy transition, for energy transition in Australia?
Well, that is a great question because it happens to be my favourite topic, and
Excellent.
Something that I've talked to a lot of people about in the booth or in the last couple of days.
Yep.
So high voltage direct current, HVDC, long distance transmission, the perfect application where you have very remote, large-scale renewable energy, and you need to get that power to a concentrated load. And somewhere like Australia, a lot of our really good renewable energy resources are all very far away from the capital cities where a lot of our loads actually are. So shunting that power from there through using technologies like HVDC, cheaper for the longer distances, cheaper to do it, lower losses, better controllability and coordination, and a bunch of technical benefits that go along with it. So yeah, I think there is a role to play. And I'll also point out that in some of the areas where hydrogen and large-scale industrial type projects are driving the need to get that renewable energy to even these kind of locations, HVDC could play a big role.
Could play a big role. Do you have to, when you implement this, do you have to, like, I suppose, is it you're putting substations in to transfer that power those long distances, or
you put a converter station in? You've got to convert it to DC,
right?
Which Edison was very famous for, being a champion of back in the day during the current war. And then at the other end, you transmit a long distance with DC, and then you have a converter station at the other end, and that uses power electronics. Right. So that's a technology. Now, interestingly, what a lot of people don't know is that Australia built one of the very first VSC, voltage source converter projects in the world.
Oh, whereabouts?
It connects Mullumbimby to Terranor in northern New South Wales. It was commissioned in 2000. It went into service in the year 2000. It's the technology now that pretty much every HVDC project in the world uses, but it was the first interconnector to utilise that. And by the way, we also built the third one.
So you're...
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I was fortunate enough to be involved in both projects.
Yep.
But the technology, even at the time, was groundbreaking. We were very brave to do it as a technology risk. And I think with this transition, we need to start getting back to that bravery, because we haven't really developed another one of these projects in the last 2 decades.
So we were the first to build that. So let's talk about Australia's role on the global scale here. Why do you think what we do down under matters to the rest of the world?
Well, we have we have a big country. We have very long transmission lines. We have a very large coastline that we have to get power to. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of our loads are. Inland, we have excellent solar resources, we have excellent wind resources, pumped hydro. We're trying to do that on a long, skinny network, which is becoming weaker. So a lot of these issues that we're experiencing, just because this is our network, other countries are going to experience very soon. Maybe not yet, but very soon. So that's why it's important that all of this work that we're doing in trying to solve these problems, we need to get our experiences out there. And again, CIGRE is another good way to do it. You write some papers, get involved in working groups, and try and share your experiences with people that we tried this and this didn't work, or we tried this and this worked, and this is how we solved those problems. But because of the nature of our network, we're experiencing a lot of these problems before a lot of other countries.
Okay, so we're sort of like the blueprint.
The blueprint, the petri dish.
The petri dish is sitting there. Now, if I was to go down to your booth, what would you say to me? I'm a delegate here. Tell me, give me your spiel.
Look, the one thing that I would explain about Amplitude is that we're a consulting company. We do strive to be different. The types of projects that we like to get involved with are iconic and influential. They're the 2 words that I like to use. We got great people that work for us, really good human beings who are exceptional at what they do. We strive to produce an excellent culture where often under some very stressful situations, we make sure everybody's enjoys coming to work and doing what they do. And so using that as the base, and then we have the technical work that we do. Power system analysis, HVDC, we're one of the only consultants in the region that focuses on HVDC, so we definitely can help with that. Strategic advisory, owner's engineer, renewable energy, all of that, we love to do that. And we do that from our 4 locations, so we have offices in Brisbane, Darwin, Singapore and New Zealand. We share our experiences. We make sure that anyone who is in Brisbane, we actually work off what we call the best available person for the job.
It definitely does set you apart from your competitors, that's for sure. Have you got any success stories for us?
Oh look, we've been involved in so many projects. A lot of people at the conference have told us, we've heard about Amplitude because we've seen so many reports with Amplitude's logo on it. So we do get involved in a lot of projects. I would say our involvement in the Kidston Hydro project is one that stands out. Australia's first pumped storage hydro project, and our team here, many of whom are actually in the booth today, were involved in modelling it and getting the grid connection issues sorted out. So that's something that springs to mind. We're in the process of final delivery of our first battery storage BESS in Queensland, the Bouldercombe BESS, which we
So where's that going? Bouldercombe?
That's Bouldercombe in Queensland.
Where's that?
That's south of Rocky.
Oh, okay.
And the Bouldercombe BESS is got connected a couple of months ago, got turned on. We're commissioning it now, but that'll be the second biggest BESS in Queensland, and our first delivery of a BESS as an owner's engineer. And of course, there's all the HVDC work we do. All the projects that you hear about today, we would have had some role in it somewhere, whether it's Marinus or Sun Cable. A lot of the offshore wind projects, we're helping them understand should they use AC or DC.
Is there any final messages you'd like to pass on to the delegates here at the symposium?
Oh look, well, first of all, I think we're very proud to be a platinum sponsor of this symposium. I think it's very unusual to get 11 study committees coming to the one location in and off Paris.
That's pretty fantastic, really.
One message I would say is if you like the vibe here, then you should think about going to Paris as well next year and every even year. Amplitude and myself, we've been strong supporters of CIGRE. We do love this kind of event, and in very much this is all a big part of this. There's the technical sessions and there's a lot to learn, but ultimately this is about networking as well. Meet people, make new friends, reconnect. It's that kind of opportunity. Make the most of it, try and be here as much as you can.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Les from Amplitude. It has been an absolute pleasure having you here, sir.
Thank you, Kerry.
Till next time.